The Maruti Suzuki Invicto. Invicto. It sounds like a name that would annoy some people in Mahindra's naming division.
Why did
but,
we not think of this?
I mean, it definitely sounds like a car name that they could have used for one of the upcoming products. But it's not some coincidence that they've called it what they have.
Yeah, I mean the in Invicto is very deliberate.
It's the Innova Hycross rebadged version. But leaving that bit aside, it is still a very big deal because for one, it is the most expensive car that Maruti Suzuki has ever sold. And unlike the Kizashi or the OG Grand Vitaras, it's not a limited run import. It is a series production car that is being made right here in India. And the second reason why in my books it's a big deal is because it's the first time that the 800,000 plus Ertiga plus XL6 owners have got an upgrade within the Maruti Suzuki family.
I view it as a big deal not just for Suzuki, more so for Toyota. Okay, because it's the first time that a vehicle that was developed ground up to be a primarily Toyota product is wearing a Suzuki badge.
Yeah.
Because, okay, sure, this Toyo-Zuki alliance that we have, the Baleno became the Glanza.
Yeah.
The Brezza became the urban cruiser,
Yeah.
the sub 4 meter one. The Grand Vitara became the urban cruiser high rider.
And that was a collaborative effort.
Yeah. But this is the first time an out and out Toyota product is being badged as a Maruti Suzuki.
And it's not just any Toyota, is it?
Yeah, it is the MPV that basically put Toyota India on the map, cemented their position in India, and it's not just any Innova, it's not the Crista, it's the Hycross.
And for all intents and purposes, this car is the Innova Hycross. So any pros and cons that the Innova Hycross has, so does the Invicto. Which means that it's a very spacious and practical car. You can seat 3 6-footers in each row and still have luggage space to spare. Ride comfort is something that we really liked in the Hycross and we liked it over here as well. Long distance driving is going to be absolutely lovely in this. Then even the ease of driving, the controls are very light, the steering is very light, so it becomes a car that's very easy to live with, definitely more so than the Crista itself would have been. And it's got a great instrument cluster, decent infotainment system, and it's quite feature loaded.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top spec version of the Invicto, it's called the Alpha Plus.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's got a pano sunroof, it's got ventilated front seats, it's got a power driver seat with memory, it's got a 10.1 inch touchscreen, there's wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I think Maruti Suzuki has also done enough to distinguish the Invicto in terms of the way it looks.
Yeah.
I remember scribbling this down in an Instagram caption. I said the design is adequately Suzuki'd, right? So all the signature NEXA elements that you expect. So the headlamps, much like the Grand Vitara, have a tri-element. The tail lamps, the overall shape is the exact same, but you know, again, it's got those tri-element detailing. The alloy wheels are different. The top spec Hycross runs 18s. This is running 17s, but the design is different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think enough distinguishing being done.
Yeah, cosmetically, yes, but the differences do run deeper than that. And I think basically it begins with the price itself because the Zeta Plus is priced at 24.8 lakh rupees, which is more or less the exact same price as the Innova Hycross VX.
Yeah.
And there's the Alpha Plus, which is priced at 28.4 lakh, I believe.
Right.
Which is about 90,000 rupees less than the Hycross ZX.
Yeah, but I'm glad you mentioned the ZX because there are a lot of parallels being drawn to the ZX option, which I think is not right.
Correct.
Right?
Basically, the deal here being that it's definitely going to bode well for the Invicto that is priced under the Hycross. But whatever money you're going to be saving in terms of upfront cost, there is some amount of tweaking you have to do with features, and that begins with the ADAS because there is no ZXO equivalent variant.
Correct.
For the Invicto because it doesn't have ADAS. And then even if you go to the fully loaded Alpha Plus variant, that does not get the Ottoman seats and like you said, the 17-inch wheels instead of the 18s. And it's also missing out on the JBL 9-speaker audio system. I think it's running.
It has a 6-speaker sound system.
Yeah.
So what you're effectively saying is that the Invicto Alpha Plus is the Innova Hycross ZX minus these 3 features.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
With the Zeta Plus, it's a different ballgame altogether because you do get 6 airbags, but then there are certain other feature compromises that you have to make relative to the Innova Hycross VX.
So overall, I think Maruti Suzuki's played it quite smart. they've cut features that won't really necessarily, I'd say, qualify as deal breakers
Yeah.
to a lot of people. Because for Maruti Suzuki to undercut Toyota on price is not particularly easy, and all of that boils down to the royalty game.
Right. So, what exactly is the royalty game? Well, that's something that you do see already with the Toyota Hyryder and the Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara. So, in the case of the normal petrol engine variants, the 1.5 manual, the 1.5 automatic, and the all-wheel drive, you'll find that the Grand Vitara is cheaper than an equivalent Hyryder because that is all Suzuki's technology. So, even though it's being made at Toyota's factory, Toyota does have to pay a royalty with those powertrain combinations. But in the case of the hybrid, you'll find that the Hyryder is cheaper than an equivalent variant of the Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Correct.
Because that hybrid technology, the strong hybrid technology, is something that is Toyota's technology, which means Suzuki has to pay the royalty over there. And you'll see that even at the dealer level, wherein if you go to a NEXA dealer, the salesperson will probably be more inclined to push the normal petrol or the all-wheel drive or the automatic onto you. Whereas if you go to a Toyota dealer, there you'll find that the strong hybrid is what's going to get the stronger push, and you can even see hints of this in their variant lineup.
See, all the stock is fine, but a lot of people, including me, when we first knew of Maruti Suzuki attempting to even launch something like an Invicto, it is a 30 lakh plus Maruti Suzuki after all. So you genuinely begin to wonder, A, why? And B, how? Because like we mentioned earlier, Toyota India was built pretty much on the back of the Innova. There is a reason why that MPV is not called the Hycross. It's called the Innova Hycross.
Yeah. The why of it is again seemingly very straightforward, and that is to improve their sales and access for them, right? Because for reference, Toyota has about 315 dealerships in India. NEXA has more than 460.
And you're not even counting Maruti Suzuki.
MS Arena is not coming into this. So, in this picture, I think the Grand Vitara and Hyryder example will make a lot of sense of this, right? Because the Grand Vitara and Hyryder are made in the same plant, Toyota's plant. The Halo strong hybrid technology is Toyota's. You would think that even with all the other variables considered, that the sales split between the two would have been sort of close, but it's not. Because in the period of December 2022 to May of 2023, Toyota sold about 21,000 Hyryders. How many Grand Vitaras do you think Maruti Suzuki sold in the same time?
Considering Toyota makes the cars for Maruti Suzuki and NEXA having better reach, 25,000, 30,000?
51,000.
How?
That is the magic of Maruti Suzuki's sales network. The accessibility that this brand brings is obviously giving the product line of the Grand Vitara and Hyryder a lot more potential when it comes to sales. Now, in the case of these two compact SUVs, it was still a collaborative build. The Innova Hycross and ergo the Invicto, it's all Toyota. Toyota made this car from scratch. So, technically speaking, it should be possible that Toyota would make more of a product, more of a profit rather, on each Invicto that they're making because of the royalty game. Theoretically speaking. Now, will this mean prioritization or reduced waiting times for the Invicto because Toyota Kirloskar as an entity would be making more money on each Invicto that is sold? Theoretically, it's a bit difficult to say. Because NEXA's sales network will definitely be something that's very tempting for them, that there's so much sales potential that's being unlocked just by that retailing network. But at the end of the day, this is still an Innova. It is Toyota's Innova, it's Toyota's baby. It is easier said than done that they would just jump prioritization towards Maruti Suzuki, and never mind the fact that the Innova Hycross's waiting periods have already hit 2.5 years. They're not doing that for fun. They don't want to have customers coming. No. I want to play around with them. They cannot supply because of supply chain constraints.
Right. Okay, these economic hoity-toity business decisions aside, one way that I think the Invicto benefits you, the end customer, is say you always wanted a Toyota but did not have a dealer or a service center near you. So NEXA has the bigger reach. and it is a tangible difference between Nexa and Toyota. So that means there are that many more locations that Invicto will give a little more peace of mind over an Innova Hycross.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm not doubting reliability. They'll outlast you. But
it's a simple question of access.
It's just a simple question of access. But there's one thing that's missing in the overall equation, and I think Maruti Suzuki and in effect Toyota. They missed the bus on this. Why is the Invicto offered only with the hybrid? It's beyond me. The Hycross gets a 2-liter non-hybrid option.
Yeah.
The problem there is that it's available only in the base spec GX version. It's available in the G version also, but that's only for cabbies, so let's rule that out. From the GX to the VX, there's a massive price jump of about 4.5 lakh rupees.
5.5 closer to, yeah.
5.5 lakh rupees. They have the engine. Maruti has the reach.
Yeah.
What is stopping them from putting 2 and 2 together? Because this 4.5 lakh rupee gap can easily be bridged by a base spec non-hybrid Invicto. Imagine Maruti Suzuki benefiting from a lower entry price for the Invicto. The same features as the Zeta Plus, maybe, but minus the hybrid. You knock off 2.5 lakhs of the price straight up. Why would you not do that?
Yeah, and it's definitely an opportunity missed in that context. Although we have to say that it's better than them offering only the non-hybrid petrol and not the hybrid, because the hybrid is the superior powertrain, but there is notably an opportunity missed on both parts, because Toyota, you can still do this with the Hycross itself, and with the Invicto also, if the time and situation and logistics permit, they should try and explore this opportunity as well. But there's a big question that comes to mind, and that is, what exactly is the tangible reason to pick one over the other? Because the way I see it, the looks are not different enough for that to really be a deciding factor for most people. Then the features miss. Yes, the Alpha Plus does miss out in features versus the equivalent Hycross, but it's not like you're paying the same money for fewer features. That was something that we did fear before. But you do get cost savings of about 90,000 bucks. And maybe there is a possibility, considering the Hycross's waiting periods are so bad, if you get in line at the right time with a NEXA dealer, you might just get delivery quicker than you would with an Innova Hycross, but this is still a big maybe.
So why would I pick the Toyota? I want an Innova. That's it. So when someone asks me, Arun, what car do you drive? I drive a Toyota Innova. I do not want to sit around explaining to people, hey, this is actually a Toyota that is badged as a Suzuki. Technically, Toyota makes it. None of that. Nada. Toyota Innova Hycross. I want a Toyota because it is a Toyota.
Yeah.
And if I have to wait for it, so be it. I'll wait with my fingers crossed, hoping someone cancels their booking and I get ahead in the queue.
Yeah, not even cancel. Maybe somebody had the booking, but they couldn't get their loan documents in time. Salesperson's like, swipe left, next customer. And that's something that's a possibility as well. So it is a simple yet complicated discussion when it comes to these cars. And yes, this partnership, no, Maruti Suzuki has not copied Toyota. This is not some kind of copyright infringement by some Chinese automaker somewhere in Beijing. That is not what has happened. This is a proper collaborative effort between the two. Toyota knows what's happening. They're making the car for them, for a lot of people who are saying that. So what is your take between these two cars? Do you have any questions about the whole rebadging thing? Is this something that makes sense to you? Is this something that you have a problem with? And if you have any problem with something that we've said in this discussion, go ahead, let us know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, you know the deal. Follow us on Instagram as well. And that's it for this video. See ya.